Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode. And we are here in the SEC Championship game, really the last game of the season. Now we're in the quote-unquote postseason. Playing against the USC Gamecocks, the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't know if people know that. If you live in South Carolina, a lot of people can call them just USC, even though elsewhere in the country, I think we just refer to Southern California as USC. But in South Carolina, they call it USC. They call it USC. I don't know why, but I guess it's just easier. They don't want to say the whole thing. It's a lot. It's a mouthful, but the Gamecocks have made it back into the SEC title game after 2 years of missing out on it. You remember the year before, I think we played Vanderbilt, and the year after we played Tennessee, or flip-flop it. I think the year before we played Tennessee, won it all. The year after, last year, we played Vanderbilt and lost, of course, to the Commodores. And so it's been a bit of a tricky venue for us, even, as we found a way to lose, those two games to South Carolina in year 12 and then Vanderbilt in year 14. It's been kind of tricky. It's been certainly tricky for us. But we still are the class of the SEC. No team that isn't us, out of the Western Division has won an SEC title since Saban has been at Alabama. So just, think about that stat for a second. Since we've been here in the 15 seasons that we've been doing this, no team that isn't us has won the SEC championship out of the Western Division. Arkansas, no, none of them. It's just been us. So, but South Carolina is a formidable foe here, man. They've taken a couple years to really kind of build up their team again, and they certainly have. There's a lot of stats and players on this roster sheet that give me pause when I think about us potentially winning this game. So South Carolina is definitely going to put up quite a bit of a fight here, and hopefully we can match them. So Cal Lumpkin with a deep shot down the sideline, and already it looks like we are doing exactly what I set out to do, as Reeves gets himself a touchdown in this game. That is touchdown number 4. Reeves hasn't had the most electrifying season compared to where we thought he was towards the beginning of the year. He didn't end up kind of having it down the stretch. He didn't really kind of put up those numbers. Being in receiver 3, it's kind of difficult to do that. But here he is in the SEC title game, absolutely making his voice, his name, his number be heard and felt throughout the Georgia Dome, and we will happily take that early lead. So fast forward to a 3rd and 4 now for the Crimson Tide offense. We're going to hand this one off to Hood, who's trying to spin around and get to the line to gain. It looks like he may have been short. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like, he's going to be marked short. So on 4th and inch, his sick name and keeping the boys on the field. Of course, running the option play is Lumpkin. He's going to pitch it out to Hood, and Hood's going to get pushed out of bounds before he can cut up field and get across the line to gain. So that's going to be a turnover on downs for the Gamecock defense, and now South Carolina will take over, but they can't do anything with the football, so we are back on offense once again, as Lumpkin now is going to run it himself here. The play kind of falls apart. He's just going to run it directly up the middle here, and he's got some open space now, getting across the 20, the 15, inside the 10, and he's going to get brought down just inside the 5, so we haven't seen a lot of Cal Lumpkin running. We know that he can. We've seen his scrambling capabilities, but we haven't really seen a whole lot of it, especially to that effect, so big play from Cal Lumpkin using the legs here. And now he's going to finish off this drive here as he finds Jeff Dillard, the tight end, running a quick little out here, and he's going to get touchdown number 2 on the season. And Lumpkin is absolutely fired up from completely dominating that drive on his own. So 14-0 is the score here, but South Carolina finally going to get something rolling on offense as Scott Olson is able to find an open target. It's the tight end Carlton Black, the junior, who he manages to hit for a nice completion that will continue the Gamecock drive. But 2nd and 4 now as the first quarter's coming to a close. Olson's going to fake the handoff, and he's going to find another open target across the middle of the field for another first down. And now South Carolina is cooking with a little bit of momentum here. They're finding themselves a little bit of rhythm late in the first quarter as it comes to a close, but they're still looking for the scoreboard. So pretty uncharacteristic for this Gamecock offense so far here. They've had some very tough and close games this year, and they are looking to win themselves another one if they can. So starting off the second quarter here, Olson fires one out, and that's going to bounce off the head of the receiver here. I don't know what he was doing. He was not looking for it, I guess. He was just not prepared for it, I guess. So that is going to result in a 4th and 14, and now South Carolina going to have to take the points if they can, and they can. So 3-14 now is your score in Atlanta. Our defense did a great job of silencing the South Carolina push here early on in the second quarter, and now we are driving the other way across midfield. Lumpkin dumps one out towards the sideline. Kind of a very awkward play here, but Ben Medley does haul it in and makes the catch. but definitely a very awkward play. So cut to 3rd and 8 now. And Lumpkin here in I formation. He's going to drop back to pass here. Got plenty of protection up front here. Takes a shot towards the end zone. That pass is going to be intercepted in the end zone. I was going to say caught, but it was caught just by the defense. So Lumpkin gets his 11th interception of the season to just 28 touchdowns, mind you. I think now he's got 30, actually, with what he's done so far in this game. And on the very following, or maybe not the very next play, a couple plays later, it's going to be intercepted by our defense heading the other way. So I don't know if we're going to get another look at it. I don't think we will. But a nice interception. Oh, we are going to get another look at it. Cool. And we will be able to call out exactly who we are looking at here. And it was going to be Doug Berry. So Doug Berry gets himself another interception on the season, but we can't do much with it. South Carolina back on offense once again. And that pass is going to get completed. That looks like the fullback. Looks like he might have hit the fullback, Travis McLaurin. Yeah, that is Travis McLaurin. Olsen was able to hit him. So, cut to a 3rd and 10, though, however, just inside the Alabama 40. Olsen looking for a place to go with the football, and he finds it, and he hits Black, the tight end, once again for another completion. The game reuses names, so it's kind of funny to think that they're family members. Like, maybe Carlton Black is a relative of Broderick Black, remember? Because they were both white guys with the last name Black, which is just funny on its own. And so maybe they're related. Who knows? But that could be the lore that you could add yourself, that they're related. They're cousins. One went to South Carolina, the other one went to Alabama. Who knows? Several years apart, but I don't know, whatever. But the South Carolina, or the second quarter comes to a close here. We're still holding on to that 14-3 lead, and so South Carolina's defense is definitely showing quite a bit of resilience against our offense, but now the Gamecock offense just cannot seem to get out of its own way as there's another interception. This one's probably going to go the entire distance. High step into the end zone. It's another touchdown for Alabama, a defensive touchdown, and a massive one at that here. And this is going to be an unlikely hero who we are calling out, but it's going to be Josh Mann, the freshman strong safety who manages to get a pick 6 in this game. And now Cal Lumpkin off his back foot, just throwing some absolute garbage into the air, but somehow Reeves is going to come down with it for another completion, and he's been the absolute story of this game. And you know what? The receiver doing everything for South Carolina, too, in that first drive, I don't have his name written down either. So it looks like both receiver 3s and receiver 4s for both teams is kind of just really feasting in this game right now. It looks like both of our defenses have schemed against the top 2 options for either offense, so we're just going to have to keep going to the guys further down in the depth chart, but it seems to be working out here, and we were able to hit. I couldn't tell who that was. It looked like Jeff Dillard, maybe. It is. It's Jeff Dillard. We hit Jeff Dillard for another reception, this time another touchdown catch here. And see, that's what I was just saying, man. We're hitting tight ends. We're hitting receiver 3s and 4s. I mean, it's just a wacky and weird game. But we take a 28-3 lead in Atlanta. That scares me half to death here, having a 28-3 lead in the third quarter. But let's see if South Carolina can pull off the impossible here and get back in this game. On a 3rd and 6, Olsen back to pass here. Fires one down the field, and he finds an open target once again. I believe it's Black, the tight end again. I think he's just loving hitting Carlton Black. That just is kind of his bread and butter right now. I don't think there's anyone else that he can really hit right now along the sidelines here out in the wings. So we're going to try and go with a handoff here, and now we're getting a little bit running back action from South Carolina with Ray Houston, who's got almost 2,000 yards on the year. That run, I think, would give it to him. He had 1994 heading into this. He's got 18 touchdowns, 22 just total touchdowns on the year. He's been absolutely on a tear, and I would think he would get some Heisman recommendations here, but oh my goodness, another interception happens on the defense. And man, Scott Olsen, who's had a great year, almost 3,000 yards and 26 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions, now up to about 9, I think. I think it's his 3rd of the game. And so South Carolina's offense really just finding itself in a tough position. We've seen that in our other games here as Lumpkin throws himself another interception. So picks galore. Both teams are just throwing up turnovers left and right. It's a disgusting sight. You hate to see it, but and that's what's going on. So South Carolina gets another golden opportunity here. They're going to give it off to the running back once again, Ray Houston, and he gets at least a first down for South Carolina. That will continue the offensive surge here that the Gamecocks are really trying to put together in the fourth quarter, trying to keep themselves at least in the ball game by any means necessary. But they've got themselves a long hole to dig themselves out of. So Olsen going to throw for it once again, and that pass just finds nobody. It finds the turf, actually. Safely falls into the turf, not intercepted, so I guess Olsen's giving a sigh of relief, but that's going to bring up 4th and 17. So South Carolina going backwards, not going forward here, but Olsen floats one up to the end zone. It's Carlton Black once again, the tight end, man. And we just cannot seem to cover that tight end. Maybe our linebackers just aren't physical enough or athletic enough to lock down Carlton Black, which I would strongly argue We've got like 99s and 94 pluses at every linebacking position. There's no way that they can't lock down Carlton Black, but whatever. We'll allow it. And now South Carolina is finally starting to fight back a little bit more here as a big pass play is going to go all the distance to the end zone for another South Carolina touchdown, man. If you can believe it. Seeing is believing. And now South Carolina wants to go for 2 here to get themselves back in the ball game by any means necessary. And that was Travis Lamb, the top receiver here. I guess he is the top receiver. I don't know. The receiving production has been split out amongst the top 3 options here at South Carolina. They've got quite a few interesting numbers per receiver. So that's just Travis Lamb's 6th touchdown of the year. He only had like 700 or so yards. So, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know if you can call him the top receiver, but the 2-point conversion is good. Olsen manages to find an open receiver in the very back of the end zone. I think he was out of bounds, but we know that this game's hitboxes with that isn't always the best. So, but that is all that would happen here. They could not get the onside kick. They could not fight back. And, we would hold on to our 10-point gap here and win this ball game 28-18. So we've done our job. That means we have punched our ticket to head, I believe, to the Rose Bowl. I think it's in the Rose Bowl again this year. Head to the Rose Bowl to play the Fighting Irish for the national title. So we managed to redeem ourselves against South Carolina in this stage in the SEC championship game, and will be meeting Notre Dame at the end of the season in January. So, but here's the numbers breakdown here. South Carolina really played pretty well here, but we outran them like crazy, man. Considering how great the running back has been all season, the fact that we were able to silence Ray Houston is such a huge benchmark for this defense, man. Such an amazing stat that we can brag about for our defense, which has really been great all season long, dude. Like, our defense has been amazing. Even in these tough games with ranked opponents where our offense isn't having the easiest of time of just lighting up the scoreboard, our defense still shows up and does what they need to do every single game. So, and also generating the turnovers too. I'd love to see where that stat ranks overall in college football, because we definitely, which we'll see it in that little splash screen where I show up, the versus screen against Notre Dame. We will see it. But the turnover differential's got to be really good for us, man. I don't know. We throw a lot of interceptions still, so Cal Lumpkin's still with 12 on the year despite having over 30 touchdowns. But we do generate a lot of opportunities on defense. We really do. So, and we win Coach of the Year. That's our first Coach of the Year trophy. This is how I found out that this game has a Coach of the Year award. I didn't even know this game had a Coach of the Year award because we've never won it. So, but we win it this year. I don't know how this year gets us the trophy. We've had years where I've played 4 ranked teams, top 10 ranked teams, and we haven't won it. So this game is broken. It's just broken. Ben Medley wins Receiver of the Year. So how great can your freshman season get, man? You pick up a massive Receiver of the Year trophy at the end of it. And Cal Lumpkin wins Quarterback of the Year. That was a trophy that we used to own, man. We had 4 or 5 quarterbacks, maybe not in a row, but all within the same span of each other, win this award every year. We had 4 or 5 Quarterback of the Years on this team, in the first 10 years of the series, man. We were absolutely owners of that trophy. And finally, Cal Lumpkin brings back one. So I think I made the right decision by starting him over Ernest Slaughter. I think I can victory lap on that decision now. I think it's definitely come back. And Ray Houston is last in Heisman voting. So I guess Emmanuel Moody with Virginia Tech has certainly earned it. I mean, look at that. 26 touchdowns and 27 total touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but still, man, Ray Houston barely getting any votes is absolutely absurd. That's crazy. So, and there it is. We punch our ticket to head back to the Rose Bowl for a chance to play for national championship number 5. Number five. I got confused because, again, we've played for one before and lost it. So, the amount that we're playing for is one more than the amount that we actually have won. So that's, you know what I mean? So it's not national championship number 6, but we're going for number 5, right? Does that make sense? Does the math work out? Are you guys with me? Am I with myself? Who knows? But, in the next video, we will be, of course, playing national championship game against Notre Dame, carrying a 31-game win streak. So hope to see you guys in Pasadena when we play the Fighting Irish.